particular tournaments between Wesley and Hikaru at all?
I will make a paradoxical statement. Now, we can confirm this. Our hardworking team certainly will. I'm not even sure that they have faced each other in the RCC, paradoxically enough. I mean, I've commentated most of the RCCs. I don't remember them actually facing off in the playoffs. I'm sure that they have, but I don't think it's been common. Now, they faced each other over the board and in online tournaments throughout the pandemic a million times. They've gone back and forth. But Hikaru's still the favorite just because it's an online rapid tournament. But Wesley has been pretty much unstoppable of late.
Right. Okay, let's head into the game, shall we? And we've got another Italian of sorts. And what do we like here?
Well, there's always the eternal dilemma. Bishop d5, knight d5. Okay, queen d5. Yeah, queen d5 is even possible because you make space for the rook to get to d8. So all three moves are on the table. There is one trap that people should be aware of. Knight takes d5, you might say, well, doesn't this blunder the pawn? And then you might say, oh, well, after knight e5, rook e5, I'm going to go queen f6 and fork. Right. But that's not effective because of d4. What you do is you take on f2 first. This is as old as the hills. King takes f2, and then queen f6 forks the king and the rook. So knight takes d5 is certainly on the table, and Hikaru taking his sweet time here to contemplate the recapture. What do you... Okay, knight takes d5 on the board.
Yes. Well, I always like these positions for black. I mean, I play 1e5. I've always had decent success here, but Wesley's also a tricky customer. Of course, knows all of this stuff very, very well. But here is queen d6. Not the move that first comes to mind because, of course, it allows knight h4 and jumping into f5 and whatnot.
Yeah, this jump into f5 is going to be annoying, and this bishop can sacrifice itself on h6. Wesley still seems to be in his prep. I mean, he still has his 10 minutes. Hikaru doesn't seem phased by the prospect of knight f5, and white always has queen f3 to consider as well, queen h5 even. Although queen h5 usually runs into knight f6. I'm expecting...
Precisely.
I suppose queen f3 makes the most sense to me, but, unless he can make knight f5 work.
Yeah, I don't think you want to go knight f5 too early, but I like queen f3. I think that keeps attention. I think that's a very, very sound idea, standard idea.
Right.
Why not, basically?
Yeah, apparently we are being told that they have played only once in the knockout. That's what I meant. Of course, they have played in the Swiss many, many times. Generally made Berlin draws, but only one knockout match, and Hikaru won that in the bullets. So this is going to be a close one. I mean, Wesley, you can never just beat Wesley right out of the gates. He never goes down that easily. And I like his position in the early going of this game. He does settle for knight hf5.
Precisely.
Where does the queen go?
Yeah, that's why I would... I think that's very negative. I don't like it. Can you go queen d7, queen h5?
Or this. And just win the pawn. No, that's out of the question. That's completely out of the question. You can't lose that pawn.
Right.
So I suppose you have to go queen f8. But then you're right. Queen h5, queen g4, accumulating the pressure.
I like queen h5 because you also then allow rook e4, rook g4 there. In some lines. I mean, there might be some knight f4 interference or knight f6. It's a bit... You have to be careful. Knight f6, queen h4 you can play. So I'm not entirely sure, but it's a little bit unpleasant, I would say.
Which begs the question, perhaps it is worth considering bishop takes. Now, if in the Italian you have to give away your light squared bishop, it means something has gone wrong, but I think it's safe to say that something has gone wrong for Hikaru here. Look at the time situation. Look at white's kingside initiative. This is getting more and more unpleasant with every passing move.
Yeah, and I was very, very surprised to see this this queen d6 move. You don't really see it in these lines, and this is probably the reason why. It's simply giving white too many tempi to work with.
The chat is speculating what Wesley's drinking, and apparently it looks like a 5-hour energy. A drink I have tried exactly once and will never touch again.
Well, what was that? Sorry, which drink is it?
5-hour energy.
What is that, like a Red Bull spin-off, is it?
Oh, it's very popular in the US. It's in all the drugstores and like
really?
Grocery stores. Yeah, it's a Red Bull spinoff, but I mean, I generally crash from energy drinks just because of the amount of sugar, and I don't know, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I think energy drinks are very, very bad. You got to be very, very careful with how you, you know, I know, is Hikaru still sponsored by that famous energy drink?
Red Bull?
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Bull does absolutely nothing for me. I feel like I'm an alien. Like if it at least made me feel good, you know, I'd be willing to take the risk every once in a while, but like they do nothing for me. It's coffee all the way. I'm old school. Now, yeah, Hikaru did end up taking on f5, so he feels that he has to stop the attack in its tracks, and Wesley has to be careful. This f2 pawn is a problem. So what? Yes. Queen f3, queen g4. What is the move?
I think here queen f3 is actually curious, right? Because you actually prepare a dirty little tactic, either bishop b3 or c4. I don't know which one, but it's dirty. But probably bishop b3 because c4 knight.
You want set up knight takes h6.
Yes,
I can show this through this particular idea.
Yes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
f6.
Yeah, I don't see why you would go queen g4. Queen g4 looks like it might run into something, actually. I don't quite know. Something not sitting right with me there.
Yeah, it's scary to play it given that the knight is the only thing that stands between you and the apocalypse on f2.
Precisely.
But I suppose that, I mean, it's not easy to dislodge the knight because you can never go g6. You give up h6 with check. So, in any case, Wesley now taking a long think. Yeah, white has the two bishops. Conceptually, white should be better, but I think Hikaru has actually just made a very, very smart decision to take on f5. It's kind of changed the course of the game a little bit.
Yeah, I'm curious how this is going to actually all unravel. Very, very important few moves now, in my opinion. So we'll see.
Now, worst comes to worst, knight e3 is possible, but that's...
He does go queen g4.
Yeah, queen g4 it is.
Okay.
Queen
and
g4
Hikaru
it is.
Now searching.
King h8 is the obvious move because there is a threat of bishop takes h6 / knight takes h6.
Yes.
You don't want to go king h7 because that walks right into the jaws of the bishop and allows d4.
Yes. Interesting one.
h5.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, but this is what I was. This is what I was thinking. But so queen h5 g6.
No, but I think queen h5 he wants bishop f2 first.
Right. This is why it didn't sit. Something didn't sit there.
Or wait, no. I guess you're right. g6, knight h6.
h6, king g7, knight g4. I don't get it. Knight g4. I blundered the queen. I beg your pardon. So yes. So this is the point. Queen e2, knight f7.
But now this is deadly because the knight is sliced off.
And bishop f4, f4. Yes.
Exactly.
The point. That's the important point. Because you attack the queen and the knight drops.
And if we bring up the analysis board here, I was thinking he wants to take first and then go g6 and win the knight back like this. But their black is worse. So what is Wesley to do here? If he can't take the pawn, that leaves him with queen g5 and queen f3 and queen e4, I guess, as the viable candidate moves. This is getting real spicy.
Yes, it is.
This is getting spicy.
Who would you take here out of interest? Who do you take here?
It's so hard for me to evaluate this. I still think Wesley has to be better. He's got the two bishops. If he can untangle himself from Hikaru's kingside initiative, then I'm taking Wesley. But with every ticking second, Hikaru's time advantage grows. And that, I think, is a very ominous sign. Wesley's time consumption, queen g5. So he goes for the queen trade. And the endgame, things finally stabilize here. Knight g3.
Yes.
Okay, so does black want to play f5, or is that too ambitious?
No, king g7, keeping things tight. I like this as well.
I mean, a draw is not impossible here. Just both sides are really solid. A4. That's a typical Wesley move.
It certainly is. But I mean, it makes sense as well, right? Trying to keep it solid.
B4, B5 is sort of potentially unpleasant. Yeah, hard for either side to come up with a hard and fast plan here. Hikaru could consider playing A5 himself just to stop any queenside expansion. I would probably advocate for that, the move A5 here.
I'm not sure about A5 because then can white... I feel like, well, of course it makes perfect sense, but I don't... But I also understand that if white does get a pawn to A5 himself, it becomes awkward. So I see both sides.
Knight F4. Hikaru trying to force a transition into an opposite colored bishop position. The move D4 is very, very tempting here, but I think black has the retreat to E6. And Hikaru accompanying his move with a draw offer.
Wow.
Which Wesley might accept. I mean, no, he does not.
No, he does not.
Damn, girl. That's what I like to see.
Yes.
Wesley saying, no, siree, I want to play this one out. And he thinks that this idea of playing D4 gives him the pull in the endgame. And I agree.
Yeah, if you're allowed to play D4 here as white, this pawn chain really does present black certain problems because the knight and the bishop suddenly are completely ostracized, and white is playing almost risk-free. And maybe you play knight e5 here to meet d4 with knight c4 and then knight d6. Is it possible? I don't know. Rook e7. So this is another way to meet it. So d4, rook d8, and there's a pin. But then king f1 will be played, I'm pretty sure.
He has to, because f5 is a huge threat.
Yeah, so king f1 played. And now the question is, are these endings that, I mean, is it straightforward?
I'm thinking about crazy tactics with bishop takes d4 and knight b4.
Right.
Takes. Wait a second. Knight b4, bishop b1, there's f5. Oh my God, I think this works. Wow. Now, you don't want to take on d4 because the bishop has the square d3 and the rook's stay coordinate. Of course, Mr. Nakamura, I mean, you cannot give him these types of chances. And now
Wesley, hands in the air in absolute disbelief that this exists. He's disgusted. And now he realizes he has to go into damage limitation mode suddenly.
Yeah, he needs to hold the draw here. And I think the way to do that is to play bishop b5, f5, f3 to create a stronghold on e4. He's not winning this game. That ship has sailed. But now he, as you said, he has to avoid panicking and melting down.
Oof. Nasty, nasty stuff.
Rook ac1 is another idea, but Hikaru doesn't even have to take on c2. He can play f5 here. Rook e, Rook Eric to c1. Okay, that is the most clinical way of making a draw.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah, this should be some kind of draw. So Hikaru's working out whether he needs to play Rook e7, and he does. Okay, you have to trade. There's really nothing else here.
Now Rook ac1. Possible,
sorry,
but
Rook ac1 does exist.
But Black even has Rook e1 check there. And
yeah, I was thinking about that actually.
He wins the battle over the c file.
Yeah, which is the file you want to get.
So Rook c1 from that perspective makes a lot of sense here. As does
Rook e1 doesn't make so much sense.
I feel like a Wesley move is Rook a3, Rook d3. Wesley likes playing like that.
Yeah.
Watch him go Rook a3.
Yeah, I can see that.
5 seconds.
I can see Rook a3. I can see it happening.
Okay, more like in a minute, but
okay.
Or a5, but my vote is with Rook a3. Oh, damn it. How dare he disobey?
That's it.
That is, now I'm disowning Wesley. Never commentating another one of his games. T5 he goes. And he stops the king. Is Hikaru playing for a win here? I think he is. I think he is. Now, the interesting thing here is that if you play Rook d7, you do allow White's king to escape the cage. Right now, the White king is in a cage, isn't it?
Yes.
And that creates some unpleasantness. That creates quite a bit of unpleasantness.
Yeah.
If Black's king can reach d6, for example.
Yeah, if the king gets to d6, Black is incredibly happy. He wants to go b3, Rook d6. And there should be some mass liquidation somewhere.
Yeah, but you could get a very imbalanced situation where Black goes after the queenside pawns and White goes after the kingside pawns. Yes?
Yes. That is a possibility.
I thought you made a sound that indicated that you have some sort of idea.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find ideas, but I'm struggling.
But look, okay, I was actually about to propose King e7.
King e7 is a good move then.
Well, you got to head for the center. It's an endgame.
That's right.
Okay, Rook e6 is on the board, but yeah, this is a big issue for Hikaru that if he ever leaves the 6th rank, Rook d6 is gonna make kebab out of those 6th rank pawns. Yeah. Rook d5.
Okay, Rook d5.
Yeah, I almost used a Russian word that's almost an Uzbek word to refer to that, which is shampura, which is it is the skewer on which the kebabs are served in like a Middle Eastern restaurant.
Wow,
that is an official name.
Look at you.
Yep,
you're a big you
I'm
like
a big kebab fan.
You like the Caucasus kind of foods.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with like tajik and shashlik
you're a shashlik kind of guy.
Oh my god. Well, shashlik is the same as kebab, yeah.
Right, yeah, right.
Okay, f3. In the meantime, that was a mate threat, by the way, by Hikaru. Now, Wesley's not losing this. Come on. Wesley's not losing this. I mean, Hikaru's going to take d7. He's going to try to win a4. But Wesley can play a5 here and fix Black's pawns.
Rook D5.
And Hikaru offering another draw, which is declined again.
Actually, Rook F7, King E2. Can you take on D7 there, or is that?
Well, no, I don't think you can because white goes A5.
Yeah,
It fixes your pawns. Okay, B5 is the most clinical.
Yes.
And then Rook F7, Philidor position. Or wait. Oh,
Wait.
Rook F7, Rook takes B5.
Yes.
And then Rook E5.
Exactly. And I was just thinking that it's probably still a draw, but
Rook E6.
I don't know. This is
Draw.
draw.
Okay, Rook F5 you can try. Oh, King E7, Rook E5 wins for white.
King E7, Rook E5 wins, so Rook E2.
But no, come on, this is
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Exactly. I was literally had the same phrase in my mind. Apparently Wesley chuckled at the draw offer. I mean, this is a dead draw. But he's still trying Rook E4. I mean,
yeah. No, this
Hikaru?
is
some technique still has to be shown.
Yeah, I would lose this happily.
I totally lose this. I think the way to draw this is actually you have to allow white to cut you off along E4.
Wow. Yeah.
And this gets unpleasant.
Yeah, this is a bit unpleasant. King E3 probably.
But you just chill on FA. I don't understand how. Oh my God.
Oh.
Wait, why is this lost?
Why is this losing?
Oh, because the king goes around to the
Oh my goodness. It's actually losing now.
Hikaru has allowed the king.
Hikaru has blundered.
He's allowed the king to move it. Now, here's the key. If you had played Rook F8, anytime the king approaches, you can give the lateral the back checks.
You can take the pawn there, Daniel.
Oh, yeah, you can just take the pawn.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. You can just take the pawn here. But my point is that if white plays F4, you can just give... You can't give these checks. It's actually become incredibly hard. You can't allow the king to zigzag its way toward F6. And Hikaru has managed to lose this endgame. He's overpressed. He was trying to play for a win at some point.
Wow.
And wait, this is not totally over yet, but I think Hikaru realizes it.
18 seconds, Hikaru Nakamura on the ropes.
It's dawning on him that this is losing. White just goes F4 and then King G5. This is all automatic.
Yeah. And and importantly, he can walk in front of the pawn and do the zigzag. The shifty shuffle.
Easy. Rook F8, King G7, and back
King
to
G6.
G6. Exactly.
Oh my God.
And now King H5.
King H5 only move.
No, this is over. This is simply Lucina position territory. Yeah. Hikaru can resign. Wow. Unbelievable.
He'll be disgusted.
No, he totally will be. F5, there it is. It's all over. Hikaru flags.
Yeah.
He loses.
Yeah, and look at this celebration by Wesley. So
he
is ecstatic.
And for very good reason. I mean, this is how Hikaru wins games. Hikaru doesn't lose games like that. He wins games like this.
Yeah. I totally understand. I'm slightly taken aback. I've very rarely seen Hikaru lose a game like that. He's a master in these endgames. He really knows his rook endgames well, but just a little step up. And Wesley pounds. Beautiful technique with King H4.
Unbelievable. And it was somewhere around the moment that F3 was played where all of a sudden it transpired that white's going to be up a pawn. Like, you are not winning both of these pawns at the same time. And I suppose that earlier on, maybe just taking D7 was the less adventurous, adventurous way to draw. Yeah, but I mean, Hikaru just didn't realize that he could lose a forgivable mistake. He's human, as much as we think that he's not. What a win for Wesley. So he makes his way to the finals, where he will face the likes of Jan Nepomniachtchi, who has rumbled through his opposition. It's going to be a scintillating finale to our final week